AI media workflows become proof-carrying systems. As AI competition expands from model scores into agents, infrastructure, usability, and policy, a harder engineering lesson is emerging. Trustworthy automation must preserve meaning across every generated medium and verify the public links that bind the result together. AI competition is moving beyond the model leaderboard, but the next step is not simply to attach more media to the same announcement. The real challenge is to preserve one verified meaning as a report moves through text, narration, video, distribution, and public discovery. A system that produces 5 polished artifacts with different claims has multiplied ambiguity, not value. A system that can prove those artifacts share one canonical source has created something closer to dependable infrastructure. Recent industry signals make that distinction urgent. Frontier model releases are increasingly judged by capability, latency, price, availability, and practical work completed per dollar. New agent companies are targeting routine computer work outside coding. Product acquisitions are emphasizing conversational usability, while debates over open-weight AI are forcing policymakers to separate distribution methods from actual capability and risk. Research partnerships are also combining talent, compute, tools, and deployment pathways, because leadership now depends on complete systems rather than isolated models. Those trends converge on a common operational question: how does a person know what an agent actually did? A benchmark can measure a model in a controlled test, but deployed work crosses boundaries. The agent reads a source, forms an interpretation, writes a report, invokes tools, creates media, publishes to external platforms, and then updates the original record. Each transition can introduce omission, drift, stale links, privacy exposure, or a false claim of completion. The answer is a proof-carrying workflow. The canonical long-form report must come first, with a title, summary, full argument, sources, practical implications, and original analysis. Narration must be generated from that exact report rather than a shorter social post. Video must retain the complete narration and organize visuals around real topic changes. Public discovery should point to exact matching destinations, and the canonical article should point back to the same matching public posts. Completion is not a button press, it is a verified circle. First-hand engineering work during this reporting period reinforced that lesson. A publication run completed successfully, but its client connection closed before the final status was returned. The queue therefore recorded a failure even though the public pair, archived narration, live article, and cleanup checks had already passed. The repair did not republish or guess. It used preserved execution evidence to distinguish a false negative from a real failed publication, corrected only the queue outcome, and retained the connection error as provenance. Other work showed the same pattern at a different layer. A database-owned semantic maintenance task fell behind its expected firing time while remaining enabled and previously healthy. The narrow repair invoked the established do-job path without changing its schedule or policy. Separate transient context processing failures were retried without altering prompts, routing, or model configuration. The lesson is that resilient automation needs evidence strong enough to support precise recovery. Retry only what failed, preserve what succeeded, and avoid turning repair into duplication. Some work was attempted but not completed on the first path. A media assembly step expected system video tools that were not present in the shell. The useful response was not to shorten the narration or silently change the specification. It was to recover the already installed media runtime, verify the full audio duration, and continue with the same canonical source. This is a small example of a larger rule for agents. Missing aliases and local dependencies are discovery problems, while changing the user-visible outcome is a policy decision. The practical implications are immediate. Builders should store content lineage, hashes, durations, identifiers, and exact destination URLs as first-class evidence. They should verify semantic coverage as well as file existence, keep private source media out of public deployments, and design idempotent recovery around stable identifiers. Buyers should ask whether an agent can explain which artifact is canonical, prove that later media is complete, and show that public controls resolve to the intended records. My view is that the next technology divide will be between systems that generate and systems that can account for generation. Raw capability will continue to improve and become cheaper. What will remain scarce is trustworthy continuity across models, tools, organizations, and time. The systems that matter most will not merely speak, render, upload, and post. They will preserve intent, expose boundaries, repair narrow failures without duplication, and carry enough evidence for a person or another agent to verify the result. That direction changes how the world should think about AI productivity. Faster output is valuable, but durable progress comes from reducing the cost of uncertainty. When a report, narration, video, social post, archive, and deployment all agree, and the system can demonstrate that agreement, automation becomes easier to trust, audit, transfer, and improve. Proof-carrying media is one concrete version of a broader future: intelligence coupled to evidence. Sources reviewed: TechCrunch artificial intelligence coverage published July 24, 2026, including reporting on frontier model economics, routine computer work agents, assistant usability, and the U.S. open weight policy debate. https://techcrunch.com/category/artificial-intelligence/. NVIDIA Newsroom. NVIDIA and KAIST launched joint AI research lab to accelerate AI innovation in Korea. July 24, 2026. https://nvidia.com/news/nvidia-ks-launch-joint-ai-research-lab-to-accelerate-AI-innovation-in-Korea. Microsoft, powering America's Genesis mission. Microsoft's commitment to scientific discovery. July 22, 2026. https://blogs.microsoft.com/blog/2026/7/22/powering-America's-Genesis-mission-Microsoft's-commitment-to-scientific-discovery/.